Yo, what up? This is the Ipos vlog. Um, Today is April 30th, 2016. It is a Saturday, and right now it is 3:18 p.m. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this vlog before I start to get into um, production mode. I'm just gonna try to crank out a lot of new ideas um, that will hopefully eventually turn into full songs, projects. Um, so I'm just gonna roll up a little joint, drink this rock star, and amp up before I start to get my hands dirty. So, yeah, right now I had to sort of switch paradigms, change my mode of operation because I canceled the party that I was planning. It's still, all the plans are there. It's structured, it's ready, it's like planned out. The pieces just have to come together. Like, the main problem was is um, I didn't have a live show worth of material that I could perform yet. So it was sort of like I had the date set and I was trying to catch up and make really good material for then. But now I figured since it's postponed, I can just work. Now I have to trip and I can like focus on the art of making something really good without having the pressure there. And then once I have a full live show worth of material, then I can um, actually set up the show and everything. I had the money to do it. We were gonna get a keg and stuff. I had all the other people were pretty much good to go um, and down to perform, but a couple of pieces didn't lock into place. But it'll happen. It'll happen. So I've had to switch modes from preparing for that, and now my whole desktop on my computer is pretty much wiped clean. There's nothing on it except for um, all the new projects that I'm making. Essentially, I want to make 50 new projects, 50 new songs, but they're just loops, like maybe 20-second loops. It's like a loop with some drums, a synth idea, a bass idea, a couple little other things, but then it loops. There's no song structure to it yet. And I call those sketches. They're just sketches that I make of songs with the basic fundamental ideas in there, the basic vibe of the song or what have you. So I just crank those out. Just crank them out, and it's cool because you don't get bored. Like I've always found that once I create the main draft or sketch or whatever it is, I'm like, like now I'm kind of like bored of the song or something like that, But now it's like once it's done, it's like all right, cool. I move on to something different. Move on to something different. Keep stacking them up. I've got 4, 5. I've got 6 right now. 6 new projects that I've made in the past couple of days. And I'm just going to try to do like almost like 5 every day. I'm going to try to do 5 today, 5 tomorrow, pretty much 5 every day for a week. And that'll give me close to 50. And then I'm going to take all the best ones, maybe 30 out of the 50. And those are going to be the ones that get turned into full-on arranged out, with like a verse, chorus, bridge, chorus kind of deal. And that's going to be one of the main focuses during that phase of the development, is going to be a lot of my songs. They don't have a bridge. It's usually what I do is I do verse, chorus, outro or something, or like verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. or some shit, but I really want to get it to be like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, or like verse, chorus, switch up, and the whole song fucking changes, you know, for the rest of the song or something like that, and try to make things less redundant, a little bit more interesting, like developing the interest within the structuring of the song. And then, so out of those 30 that get done, I'm going to write to as much as I can to all of them. But I'm not going to release any of them as sacred law. I'm not going to actually record. What I'm going to do is like just write to all the tracks that I make, but not put the lyrics on them, because what I want to do is develop my lyric writing without having to worry about like, oh, you know, what if I release this and people don't like it or something like that. Like I'm not, like I want to like get better in secret, like make music that people don't ever get to listen to, but you know, it's sort of like a way of getting better, without people noticing how bad you are at the start. um, so where is it? So I'll write and be getting better at writing, but then those 30 tracks I'm going to put up on my SoundCloud, the Ipos SoundCloud, and those 30 tracks I'm going to give to other artists, or if I have something written to it, maybe collaborate on it with them, like do a featured track, or like if the writing is good enough, you know, or like, you know, sell the beats to other people. Yeah. And then in the meantime, while everything is getting developed, I also have the 2 music video ideas. One of them is kind of costly. The other one's not costly at all. But they're both really cool. One of them's for Immortal. It's a song that I've made and recorded vocals on, and it's got a crazy concept for a music video idea. And then there's Misrepresentation Cypher, which is going to be a live video recording of myself, Nigel, and Evan Swanson. We're going to be out in the park drinking beers, maybe bring a posse with us, and record us doing a live cypher in the park. And then in production, we're going to layer the music, the instrumental music on top, so that you can actually hear the quality of the instrumental. But it gives it that kind of live show, live performance kind of feel to it. But right now, I'm starting to get like really good at my style of trap. What I'm doing is basically taking 808s, but not using them in a conventional trap kind of way. Like there is still like, where should I start really? Well, a lot of people would, when they think about trap, they think 808 bass, boom, 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 whatever, you know. And that's cool. Like, you know, you can find plenty of 808 basses out there on the internet. But what makes my 808 music, what sets it apart from a lot of others is that I make my own 808 basses in massive. So all of my sounds are fucking custom made. And I'm actually pretty good in massive. So like all of my sounds are original sounds. You're probably not going to hear them in anything else. So that kind of sets my, like, from a sound designer, from like, you know, from that kind of synth perspective, like that's one thing that sets me apart. Another thing is the way that I use 808 drums. I'll use like parts of an 808 kit, like maybe an 808 kick, like just a little punchy, like boom, boom, boom. Something, you know, a quick pop in the low end, and then I'll use an 808 hi-hat, but I won't use it in the normal, like, rolling, like, really fast hi-hat. I'll do something like something a little more like triplets, or, you know, something that doesn't sound like, oh, that's, like, oh, I've heard that before. You know, like that same old fucking rolling hi-hat pattern that you hear in everything that's in trap. I'm so sick of it. So it's like trying to like take it, but like fuck with it and augment it and push it to a new place, you know, so that it's different and that it's evolving it, not just being fucking stagnant. If I was just a stagnant trap producer, I would just be like losing my fucking mind, but I'm not. And that's what's a lot of fun, is you're in this new territory, but you're working with something this kind of conventional, but you're just messing with it, you know. But like, so I'll have like a punchy kick, a hi-hat, 808 hi-hat, but my snare will be from a different kit. It won't be an 808. It'll probably be like a live drum sample of a snare that I've compressed the shit out of, like with some tube compression or whatever, just so that it's like really hits. Then maybe throw a filter on that, cut out a lot of the highs so that it's like chilling around the midsection and is kind of like, you know, popping out at you. It's still got that like oomph to it, but it's not like smacking in your ears. It's not like really high, you know. It's more mid-low area. Or I'll take an 808 snare. I'll mess with the enveloping system. Like if you're working in Ableton or Logic or whatever, you drop it in and then you go into the envelope and you mess with the envelope of the main envelope of it, I guess. Like the attack, the decay, sustain, all that shit. And kind of like trim it down a little bit and get it, you know, shape it a little bit. And then I put a band pass filter on it. And then kind of like mess around, or maybe an EQ, cut out the highs, cut out the lows, and try to find somewhere in the mids to mid-high section, you know, and just get that little band of frequency coming through. And then I compress the shit out of it with a supercharger GT tube compressor. And at that point, it just gets fucking smacking loud, and really unique. It's an 808 sound, but it's not just like some fucking sample that some kid found in an 808 kit and just like dropped it in. It's like taken and shaped, and it's sort of, you know, it's tweaked and fit perfectly in. It's like you have a puzzle piece that doesn't quite fit, but you kind of shift it around and put it in, and it fucking fits the song better, and it's more unique that way, so that it's not like, oh, that's just an 808, you know? Which I can't hate on too much. They sound good, but they're like, I don't know. I like making them sound a little warmer, or a little bit like higher production value or something like that. I used to be under this, I don't know. I was under this, I don't know what the word is for this. I was, Well, I used to think that you could overproduce. And now that I think about it, again, I think overproduction, there is a lot. Like when I have a really, my specs on my computer are not that great. So my CPU just skyrockets after I have like a certain amount of tracks, channels on my in my project of Ableton. So I can only have like maybe 10 channels open maximum. And that's like drums, synth, bass, lead, vocals, etc. And that's it. So that's forced me to be very minimalistic, and less is more mentality kind of. But then I see some people like taking photos of like the project that they're working on, and they have like fucking 50 tracks. And you listen to some of those songs, and it's like they might have a little bit more detail, but I don't know, man. Some of that stuff is like, that doesn't seem necessary, because I've made some pretty full, intricate, like full-bodied songs with lots of elements to them where it's not too much for people to comprehend what's going on, you know? And it's like, I don't understand. Like, how did they have that many fucking tracks open for one fucking song? I'm really streamlined. I'm like, in my mind, it's like you just have your fundamentals, your fundamental elements, and that is drums, bass, melody, leads, vocals. That's your meat, asparagus, and potatoes, right? The rest is anything on top of that is marzipan. It's, it's little sprinkles of pepper or whatever, like some salt, some sriracha. It's your extra flavor, right? But your fundamental elements, that's all you need. So in my mind, I work very quickly, like instantly, like drums, bass, lead, maybe some extra synth elements to kind of support the lead a little bit, and then vocals. And it's helped me like crank stuff out, just like boom, 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 So, so I don't know. Maybe maybe I'm not producing enough on my tracks, or maybe certain people are just overproducing, maybe the kind of music that they're doing just calls for that, but I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's like having that sped up, that streamlined kind of system that I have, where it's just quickly creating the content. It's fast in that regard, or it's like, how am I gonna put it? There's less time involved, but there's more content created. That's the positive side to it. But I don't know, like it might affect the quality as well. It's kind of, I don't know. But all the stuff I'm going to be making, the major project that all the songs are, this new phase, all these instrumental projects that I'm working on, instrumental tracks, they're all going to be part of Bad Water Instrumentals, the Ipos Bad Water Instrumentals. And it's going to be like, 30 instrumental tracks. I'm going to sell them to people. and they're all going to be pretty dark. Some of them kind of sad, but with lots of trap elements, very synth centric. I just really fucking love synthesis a lot. A while ago, I took a long time ago, maybe like 5 years ago, I took some acid, and I took the acid and I had Logic Pro at the time, uh, and I had on Logic Pro, there's the ESX24 synthesizer or something, or the ES something 24. It's like the main synthesizer that comes with it, Logic Pro. And I was frying balls, and I spent like 3 hours on the ESX24 or whatever it is. That might not be what it's called. I forget what it's called, but it's like the main fucking synth, 3 oscillators or 2 oscillators or whatever it is. And I was just like frying and turning all these fucking knobs and like making this crazy sound. Had my headphones on. I had it on like full blast, like the distortions like all the way up. And I was like hearing this fucking alien, like this like fucking alien fucking noise in my head, and it sounded crazy, and I was hearing like so much information in the fucking noise of it. And so I fucking came down and I saved it, and then I listened to it the next day, and it was just the most garbage, like over distorted, like had too many effects on it, and it was just like fucking nuts, and I didn't get anything from it. But when I was frying, it was kind of like, what the fuck, this is fucking crazy, I made this, you know. But ever since then, I have been a fanatic of synthesis. I'll just watch YouTube tutorials of massive tutorials for fucking days and fucking make hella synths, and I only use Massive, just Massive. I'd love to have Absinthe, but I don't know. I just work really minimally. I can do a lot with Massive. Like, I've got all my bases covered, you know? Like, as far as like synth like noises go, I can make basses, I can make leads, I can make atmospheric shit, I can make noise effects, I can make percussion, I can make sequences, like you name it. Like, I've got all the bases covered, so it's kind of like and I haven't even maxed out with Massive yet, so it's like I have no need. Like, if I was like in a role-playing game or something like that, and each weapon that you get for your character, in it's sort of like the level up system is you level up with the gun. So it's like you're on a level 1 with the gun, you're on level 2, you're on level 3, you're on level 4, you're on level 5, and then maybe you hit a certain level, like maybe level 25, and then you can move on to another weapon, and then you're on level 1 with that, and then you fucking level up on that shit as well. But I have like, I'm on like maybe my third weapon. Massive is like my third weapon, and I'm just chilling here. I'm chilling until I'm not gonna move on. I'm gonna work on Massive until I hit the top, and then maybe I'll move on to something else, like a different synthesizer, when I'm completely like at my fullest, then it'll be cool to have something else to kind of bring it in and support what I'm already working with. So yeah, I better get to fucking making shit. Um, yeah. Deuces. Have a good one. Take care of yourself. Yeah.